All right, this is part 1 for the baked breaded mozzarella sticks for the 7th grade class. Since in the previous videos I have taught you how to measure and get the ingredients, in this video I'm just going to review the equipment and ingredients that you need to measure, and then we will demonstrate how to do the steps. So if you look on the recipe, you can see for the baked mozzarella sticks, it says you're going to need 1 string cheese per person. And then it has these ingredients grouped together. So it has the flour and the cornstarch together. It has the egg white and the water together. It has the breadcrumbs, oregano, and salt together. It has the butter individually and the marinara sauce individually. So the reason why those are grouped together is for what purpose? What do you guys think? Yes?
To know what to put in the same bowl?
Yes, to know what to put in the same bowl. That's exactly right. So, as you can see right here, I have my string cheeses together. The flour and the cornstarch. The flour is going to be in the unit, so on the tray, they're going to need to just have a bowl for the cornstarch, okay? And the flour will be in the unit, so they'll need a bowl over here for the flour. So on the tray, they'll need a bowl for the cornstarch, and in the unit, they'll need a bowl for the flour, okay? Then the next section is the egg white and the water. So we're going to need to have our egg and just put that on your tray, and I'm going to demonstrate how to separate that into the white in a minute. And then the water is in the unit, so they're going to need to have a bowl to measure the water in the unit, okay? And then the second section is the 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, the 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, and the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So on the tray, they're going to need a bowl for the breadcrumbs and the oregano, and in the unit, they're going to need a bowl or cup for the salt, okay? And then there's the 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Now, at this point, my butter is starting to look like this, and so we're going to need to use the liquid displacement method to measure the butter. So when we do that, on your tray, you want to have a liquid measuring cup pre-filled with your 2 ounces of water. So you're going to look to the side of the cup that has the ounces. You're going to already fill the water to 2 ounces, or whatever the lowest ounce amount on your cup is, and then you're going to put that on your tray, okay? So that is what you want to have on your tray for the butter. Then you're going to need a small bowl for the marinara sauce, okay? So let's review everything that we're going to need on our tray. On our tray, we're going to need 3 small bowls. We're going to need a liquid measuring cup filled with the smallest level of ounces of water. For this example, it's 2 ounces. You're going to need a tablespoon of, just a dry tablespoon. You're going to need the 1/2 teaspoon. You're going to need the 1/2 cup, and you're going to either need a straight edge spatula or the back of a butter knife, whichever one you want to do, and that's for leveling off. I just had moved mine away, and so it wasn't on the tray. So I already have these things measured, but I'm going to quickly review with you how to do the liquid displacement method, okay, just because I know it's hard for the kids to remember. So we already have our water filled up with 2 ounces of water. We need to remember how many tablespoons is in 1 ounce. 2, that's right, 2 tablespoons in 1 ounce. So what we're going to do is oh, that's what the spoon was for. I had a spoon on there and I can't remember why. You need a spoon on your tray too, sorry. So you're going to take your spoon and you're going to use that to scoop the butter in chunks. And you're going to put the chunks into your cup, and you're going to check the water level, and you're basically going to add butter until it rises 1 ounce, okay? Check the water until it rises 1 ounce, and then you know you have 2 tablespoons of butter, and the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. So make sure you check at eye level. That's an important thing, and make sure your butter gets in the water. It's almost there. Don't get the paper. Okay, I think we just need a little more, and then that should be perfect. All right, so we got our 2 tablespoons of butter there using the liquid displacement method. So remember, You fill it to the smallest ounce level there is. It's usually 2 ounces with water. Then you spoon butter in and check at eye level until it rises 1 ounce. It needs to rise 1 ounce because 1 ounce is equal to 2 tablespoons of butter or of anything. Okay, so we got that going. So now we're going to take this back to our unit. Okay, I'm back in my unit now because we were at the imaginary ingredient table. Okay, so while all those things were happening, the equipment needs to be gotten out by the head cook. Includes, we already talked about it, but 2 bowls and a container for our salt and water and flour. You need a 1/4 cup dry cup. You need something to level it off with, like the back of a butter knife or straight edge spatula. Okay, you're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon for the salt. Okay, you're going to need at least 3 regular spoons. You may end up needing more than that, but at least 3 regular spoons here. You're also going to need a cutting board and a small either paring knife. You can use a small chef's knife to do it, but the paring knife is typically the one that I use for this step. So this is a small chef's knife, by the way. The paring knife, I just pulled, that was the first one I pulled out. And you're also going to need a baking sheet. Now, it could be like the cake sheet pan like we used last time, or it could just be any of the smaller baking sheets. It doesn't really matter which baking sheet that it is, okay? We're also gonna need to preheat our oven. We wanna make sure we have at least 1 oven rack that's in the center of the oven, okay? That top one right there is in the center, so we're good to go. So I'm gonna hit bake, and I'm going to hit it to the temperature 400 degrees. No. Bake 400 degrees. And then start, okay? So we'll preheat our oven to 400 degrees, okay? So that is everything the head cook needs to get ready while the assistant cook is getting the ingredients. So now that we have all of our ingredients, and oh, I forgot, you're gonna also need a paper towel. The head cook needs to get out a paper towel like this, and this is for when we microwave the butter, okay? All right, so now let's get going with the steps. So it says step 1, preheat the oven. We already did that. Okay, step 2, oh wait, I totally forgot. We got to get the egg white. So we're gonna need 1 more bowl. So for the equipment, 1 more small bowl or cup, whatever you have available to you. Okay, so this is how you separate an egg white. There are lots of cool methods. One of them is to take an empty plastic water bottle, squeeze it together, put it over the yolk, and then let go so it sucks up the yolk. It's really cool. I want to teach you the very basic method today, though, because this is the method that most chefs use, and also because you don't need any extra equipment to do it. So you're going to take your egg, you're going to crack it in the center, right along here, a nice even crack, okay? Then you're going to take the 2 halves, and you're going to pull off the top half right over your cup or your bowl or whatever you have, okay? So then the white starts to leak out, okay? Then you're gonna take your 2 halves of your shell, and you're going to kind of play a little, to me, I feel like I'm playing ball, but you're just scooping the yolk back and forth. See how the white just plops right out of there? So you scoop that yolk back and forth until all the white has come out. Now, if your yolk starts to break, you want to stop, so you don't get any yolk in there. If you get a little yolk in there, it's not the end of the world. Okay. All right, so now I have it separated, and you're going to throw that away. I'm just going to put that in right there for now. Wash my hands. Okay, so now we have our yolk separated. Now we can get started with steps. Okay, so step 2, it has us remove cheese from packages, cut in half crosswise. So we have all of our cheese right here. We're gonna go ahead and remove them from packages. I'm just gonna do one because I'm just demoing everything, and then we'll do the rest of them after the video, after we're done videoing. So you're just gonna take your cheese sticks out of your package. You're gonna take it over. You're gonna grab your cutting board, your knife. We're gonna cut it in half crosswise. So is crosswise way A or way B?
A.
Way A, that's right. So we're gonna take it, we're just gonna cut it in the middle. Remember to hold our knife correctly, just like, I don't think I've taught you guys this actually. So to hold a proper chef's knife, you take your forefinger, you put it here, you take the rest of your 3 fingers, you put it on the handle, and your thumb is on the other side like this. Okay, we already talked about carrying it pointed downwards. We don't want to have it sticking out. And if you don't need it, just put it down. Okay, all right. Your other fingers, when you cut, need to be close together or tucked under like this, okay? So we're going to just cut that in half nice and even like that, and you'll do that to all your cheese sticks, okay? And then you'll set those aside until a little bit later. So now in the next step, it says to combine flour and cornstarch in the shallow dish. So I have my flour, I have my cornstarch, I'm gonna put them together. I'm going to use one of my regular spoons just to mix those up. We want to stir it, get it thoroughly mixed here. Okay, and then let's see, flour and cornstarch. Okay, step 4, in another shallow dish, beat the egg white with water. And so I totally forgot to get out the whisk. So equipment people, write down you're gonna need a whisk. Okay, so that's nice and mixed. So I'm gonna grab my whisk. Okay, so I'm gonna put my egg yolk in my water. Now on the water, it has you do 1 tablespoon, but I have students that really struggle to be able to like get theirs thoroughly coated with just 1 tablespoon of water. So everybody on the recipe really quick and on the food supply list, make it 2 tablespoons. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is so after you write down that it's 2 tablespoons, you're gonna take your yolk, you're gonna put it in the water, and you're going to mix it and whisk it very well, just like we did in the first lab where we had to whisk the egg to split it. So you're gonna be doing that here, and you wanna make sure you break it up really evenly. You want to do this in a bowl and not in a cup. Make sure it's thoroughly whisked so that the mucus isn't all sticking together. The albumin part of the egg. It'll start to froth a little bit, and that's just fine. If we don't do this well enough, then when you start dipping the cheese sticks in it, like a bunch of the mucusy part will stick all together on one cheese stick, and then you won't have enough for the other cheese sticks, okay? Okay. So now we have our egg white and yolk done. Then we're going to jump to the next step, which tells you to, in another shallow dish, combine breadcrumbs, oregano, and salt. So we already have the breadcrumbs and oregano in here. We're gonna add in the salt, and then we're going to stir that together so it's nice and even. Be careful, because if you don't stir this well enough, you're gonna have one section of cheese stick that's like pure salt or pure oregano or something. I don't think you really want that. Okay, so then that's all nice and mixed up and even and everything. And then Okay, and then